Hello, this is Mike, NoStressMike.com. I'll tell you, it's funny. You've heard me say I trust a doctor just as much as I trust a mechanic, and I just went through a very good example. I went to the United States, and I'm back now, and one of the funny things is before I left, I knew my car wasn't running right. Didn't have all the power, and then when I got on the road, got going, I lost about 1/3 of my mileage and probably about 1/3 of my power. And that was after I did all the mechanicking things. I had the mechanicking done here in Guatemala. So you're thinking, well, that's because they don't have good mechanics. Well, that's one thought there is. So when it's this. And but I had different mechanics take a look. And what I do is what they call second opinion when you go to doctors. Well, I did the same thing with my car. What's your idea? What's causing this? What's causing it? And so I went to all these, didn't do any good. Like I said, I went to the United States, and then I thought, I'm going to go to the United States where, they're smart. Mechanics know what's going on. So I had about 3 mechanics take a look up there. And one of them was the Toyota dealer. Like I say, I drive a 95 Toyota Camry. And none of them figured out what it was. And they come up with all kinds of real cool ideas, and just like a doctor, well, we'll do this, we'll do that, we'll do this, we'll do that. And all this stuff costs money. And they're replacing, they're doing all kinds of stuff. And none of these things worked. And like I said, I came back, and after I came back, same thing, I went to the mechanics, and I told them this is it, and all that. And but I had some other stuff done to it, and they said they didn't have any idea. But one thing they did do when they were working on the car, they had it up on the rack, they found an exhaust leak. And so like I said, I do mechanicking, so it had me puzzled. But I told my wife, and this was probably in the early 90s, I told my wife, if we're going to get a new car, we can get a new car. But once we get a new car, I'm not going to do the mechanicking anymore, because there was too much electronic stuff on there, and I can't do the electronic stuff, so I got away from it. And but what was funny is I was down to the point where I thought it was electronic stuff, because in my mind, I've already eliminated everything, and everybody comes up with all their cool ideas, all these mechanics. None of these ideas worked. So once I decided, then I thought, okay, it's a sensor. First I thought it was a vacuum leak of some type. And man, I had them say, we need a new transmission. I mean, I had them come up with all kinds of stuff. And then, like I say, for me, I decided, well, it's got to be something electronic that I can't find. And it's one of these things where we're going to have to start replacing all these electronic parts before we find out what the problem was. So I was to that point when they found that exhaust leak. And then when they found the exhaust leak, I thought, well, this is an exhaust leak. I mean, I remember, like I say, I was mechanicking before the electronic stuff. And so, I mean, we could run these vehicles with no exhaust at all, I mean, the manifold's coming out, and then that's it. And but one thing that I learned, I took it to the muffler place, and I thought we're going to have to put a whole new pipe on and all this stuff. And when they opened the hood, and then the first thing they checked is I had a leak at the manifold. And so I was losing exhaust right there at the manifold, and I already knew I had a leak on another part of not the pipe, but it's a flexible part of the pipe. And I go over a lot of speed bumps. You've seen my videos where boom, we're hitting the speed bumps. they're dragging. A lot of times they're hitting the exhaust pipe. So I thought, okay, no problem. I need a new exhaust system anyway. So they went on and did that, and then I needed a new catalytic converter. I don't know what all this stuff is. This was all, I did my mechanics before all this. After they did all this stuff, I got in the car. I could not believe it. It took care of all my power problems. Now I'm just waiting to check the mileage, but I'm sure my mileage is going to improve. The moral of the story is, well, the first thing, I hope you can learn from my mistake, and that is I had instant power lossage. You could get it a little bit at a time also if your leaks in the exhaust system comes down more and more. But if it's a big leak, then you're going to lose your power pretty quick. I lost mine pretty quick, and it was because of the exhaust system. Funny, 95. Okay, the newer cars, such as the 95 and Toyota, it's a 4-cylinder. They are designed to use the back pressure from the exhaust system. So when you have a leak, your car's not going to run right. So just to give you a little bit of heads up on something like that. I knew it was going to affect the quality of the performance. I didn't realize I was going to lose a third of the performance. So, but I'm just sharing that with you. But another thing is to let you know, and what it is, this same procedures that the mechanics use are the same procedures that doctors use. And the reason I say that, I'm emailing this gal, and she's telling me about all the stuff that's going on with her, and the more that the doctors fix, the more problems she has. All this kind of running along like the government does. The more the government fixes, the more problems we have. So, but it's a 95 Toyota Camry. I mean, you know, you can make mistakes on it. It's no big deal. Nobody pays the price. But when the doctor screws up, he gives you a misdiagnosis. He puts you on medicine, or worse yet, well, I don't know if it's worse or not, but it is bad when they just start cutting stuff out of you, and there's no reason to cut that stuff out. But so they're both bad. Either they're giving you medication or they start cutting stuff out of you. It's not a good thing. So we have to take that personal responsibility. You have to learn how your body works. As I was explaining to the gal she was talking about all the symptoms she has, and as I explained what's causing these symptoms, and she's taking medication for a lot of these symptoms, and which is giving her more and more symptoms. It's not a good thing. And like I told her, we are the best doctors for ourselves. You have to keep that in mind. You have to learn your body. You have no choice. And the reason I say you have no choice is when you hand that over to someone else, especially a doctor, then you're going to have problems. I guarantee it. Now, I'm not saying natural health is going to cure all your problems. I'm not saying that. But you better learn when to use medical assistance and how much to use. You have to learn your body. And the way you learn your body is through natural means. Learn how your body works naturally using natural therapies, and that will help you learn how your body works. Now, don't forget, it's your body. Nobody gives a damn about your body. Unless you have money. And your insurance is going to pay, well then they all care. But do they really care about your body, or do they care about the money? If you can't figure that out, you deserve to be cut up and have your life screwed up. So, but anyway, this is Mike, NoStressMike.com.